Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of April 17th, 2025. The current character challenge is Arkham Origins Bane. That is a 1-week repeat. The required characters for that are Deathstroke, Black Adam, and Sinestro, who you can get at Bronze, Silver, and Bronze, respectively. If you're looking at the lowest tier, each of them are available. His passive is Vengeance, which is Bane enrages one below 50% health, giving himself and all Arkham teammates 1 bar of power once per match. He's got 1,100 attack, 1,100 health. Was last available on April 4th of last year. Mm-hmm. So, he's got middling stats and, importantly, not a great passive.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's got a decent synergy, like we were saying at the Q&A earlier this week. It's got a decent synergy with Arkham Knight Batgirl. But when you judge it, point of comparison with other power generating passives, right? So in this case, Bane needs to lose half his health to give himself and Arkham teammates only a bar of power. Batgirl, who is one of the oldest challenge characters ever, low stats, but her passive gives everybody a bar of power to start. Yeah. That's basically Bane's passive, but without any cost at all.
So it's Bane's passive, but way better, because you can rely on it no matter what, instead of needing something very specific to happen to maybe make use of it.
Right. And there's no chance that someone gets knocked out before they get their power from Bane. There's no restrictions on only Arkham teammates. It's just free power. So Batgirl's great. New 52 Wonder Woman gives a bar of power to her Justice League teammates for every special 2 that she uses, or every 2 special 1s. Mm-hmm. Now that's restricted to Justice League teammates, but 1 bar with her first special 2, and again and again and again throughout the match, that's much better. So for the longest time, there were just too many good Arkham characters to make me want to play with them. And before we started forcing ourselves to play with the challenge character each week, right? In my mind, who's better? Arkham Knight Batgirl, Arkham Knight Catwoman, Arkham Knight Batman, Arkham Origins Batman. The OG, right? He's still better, I think. Arkham Origins Joker, Arkham Knight, Arkham Killer Croc, even Arkham Harley Quinn, because her passive to give you unblockable special 2s for her Arkham teammates. Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, Arkham Origins Deathstroke. To me, these are all characters that I had higher on the totem pole, so, where am I finding the time to play with all of them? Mm-hmm. And to play with them enough to actually get a feel for them. So, but as we use them more and more over time with these repeated challenges, I think I appreciate Bane a little more. And I think I was saying this earlier in the week too. His passive isn't great, but it works great with Arkham Knight Batgirl, because if she's coming into saving with her passive, then at some point she's had at least a bar of power, because you don't get down to 1 point need saving without dropping below half at some point, right?
It's true.
And unless we made a mistake when Bane dropped below 50% health and he didn't need saving yet, and we tagged in Arkham Knight Batgirl, spent her power, and then tagged Bane back in to get damaged to the point of needing saving, you would have that bar of power, right? Basically, it's if we screwed up, we wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
So if she's coming in with at least a bar of power, that's more than enough to knock out anyone that's not holding Astro Harness, or maybe John Stewart, Green Lantern, as a teammate.
Yeah, so there's some interesting stuff that you can set up with it, for sure.
Right. So there's one strange thing, and I don't know that I've seen it repeated, is that if Bane takes the hit from more than 50% health, so before his passive triggers to needing rescue immediately, then his passive won't trigger. And so if we're expecting her to have a bar of power, then we can give her both Cloak and Scythe, which we've done here, to stack the stun boosted damage. But we can have more flexibility with the third gear, right? So we don't use overpowered super. We could use something that's geared towards her special. Previously, we've used Enchantress Companion gear to increase the effect of her special, because the skulls will do damage proportionate to her boosted special damage. Mm-hmm. Overpowered super was often our third gear for Arkham Knight Batgirl and Arkham team, but, now that she's got increased likelihood of power, less likely we need to do a basic combo. So today, what you're watching is League of Assassins Knives for the splash damage and boosted special 1, and lots of special 1s from her. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I've come to appreciate with Bane is that his special 2 is pretty good. So the first few hits don't do a lot of damage. The last few hits do. Approximately... Alright, so if the first hit and the second hit is sort of 2 to 1, so the first hit does twice as much damage as the second hit, then each of those does... The third, fourth, and fifth hit do about 4 times as much damage as the second hit. Mm-hmm. So almost as important as that, though, is that there's enough of the pause after the second last hit that there's a decent chance after knocking out one opponent that you're going to land a hit or two on the opponent tagging in, right? So that's really important, useful, to protect you from the opponent tagging in, and if you have an effect that from one of your gears that only processes on the last hit, so you still get full value for it. Now, the other thing that I definitely mentioned earlier this week is that his special one is a bit of a problem, even if it whiffs because of being too far away because of lack of range. Tantu Totem doesn't seem to give power back. The tap combo hits are ranged, but the first hit is actually ranged the least. So there's a weird kind of thing that I don't think I've seen with any other characters where there's a chance of getting the tap combo ender even if the first hit misses because the opponent was too far away. The first hit of Special 2 is ranged, so you don't need to wait after tagging in to launch your Special 2. So it's a funny combination that it just stands out with Bane at least, right? That whether the first hit of his combo, Special 1 or Special 2 hit or not, it's just a weird kind of thing that I'm not used to seeing in other characters.
Yeah. It's less consistent, like in terms of starting to hit and continuing to hit or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So we are 51 weeks since the end of our 4-year repeating challenge cycle, almost a full year. There are still 12 missing challenge characters that haven't been available for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And we are coming to the end of what the cycle used to be, right? So we started off with it being different where they were alternating old and new. And then they went back to just what looks like the old challenge cycle, right?
Yeah.
And very soon we'll see what happens when we roll over, right?
Right.
Into our, what before was Red Sun Green Lantern, and then most recently was Gaslight Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we will know almost certainly by no later than 15th of May. We might get some indication earlier, but definitely by then we'll have something.
So we're expecting it to be either Gaslight Batman, Red Sun Green Lantern, or something else, right?
Yeah.
And that'll be our indication, our best clue as to what's happening.
Yeah.
So there we go. This week's multiplayer award is Master's Arms, which becomes Master's Death Cart. And, from how much we've talked about it, we'll tell you the effects first. After tag-in, enemy blocking stops 20% less damage for 6 seconds. There's a 100% area effect. Opponent's team takes 15% damage from your special attacks. A 100% area effect. Opponent's team takes 35% damage on your combo ender. And the evolved ability, a 100% chance to deal 20% unblockable damage on tag-in. And so this is one of those gears. It's really good, right? We talk about it all the time. It's awesome. And why it's so great is a little bit less obvious, actually, just from the gear description that they provide, right?
Before you go on any further, if the pattern holds, next week should be Rebirth Wally West.
That's true, yeah. It was last available on the 26th of September of last year.
Yeah, so the reason why that's interesting is because in the most recent, there was 4 years of it. Is it 4 years? Maybe more. We've had the first deviation in March. There was a couple of characters that were missing. Flashpoint Deathstroke got skipped. Soul Taker Sword got skipped. So we're sort of on tenterhooks a little bit to see when the next skip is going to be.
Yeah.
So Master's Death Card. Excellent 4.5-star gear. There's really one ability that makes this gear so important and useful and legendary. And if you go through them, reduce blocking, I don't really notice it because the unblockable tagging damage usually lets you get unblocked hits. And even if they're blocking when you tag in, if you wait for the right moment, the opponent drops their block and you can usually time an unblock attack. Usually that's going to be, for us, the way we built our teams, a special. Mm-hmm. The only exception is when you have bars of power and they have bars of power and do a special. In this case, the vulnerability window is small enough that it's hard, if not impossible, to sneak in an unblocked attack. So after they drop their block, but before they do a special when you tag in. So they're blocking you tag in, they've got power. If you try to wait long enough just for them to drop their block, they've already hit you with a special. Mm-hmm. The area effect on specials isn't as good as either Fourth World Mace or League of Assassins, Knives, or just most of them because it doesn't happen all at once. It ticks off like damage over time. So if you knock someone out and the teammate tags in, they stop taking the splash damage.
Yeah.
The unblockable damage of 20%, that's decent. But the hidden and most important part of this gear that's not actually explicitly mentioned in the description is that the unblocked damage generates power for you in multiplayer. Mm-hmm. It's great in multiplayer, not so great in offline playing. Sorry. So in multiplayer, you generate more power by hitting, so you get the power because those hits are hits. In offline, your opponent generates more power by getting hit, so they get more power when you tag in.
Yeah.
So it's a funny, interesting gear because we spend so much time playing multiplayer now and very little time playing offline solo play.
Mm-hmm. It's essentially like a bar of power every tag in.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
yeah.
Moving on to the store, we have Gotham Ninja Batman, and
Batman Ninja Bundle. Like, it's a funny name, right?
It's Gotham Ninja Bundle, Batman Ninja Batman. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's $24.99. It comes with the regular
Canadian,
Batman.
Canadian dollars, the only currency that matters.
That's true. It's a corroborate include in next week's challenge. It gives you 100,000 power credits. It does not unlock a copy in the store. So as usual, wait around and just earn it the normal way as long as you have time. And if you have no time, you really want this and have money burning a hole in your pocket, I guess. You know, it's not the worst deal in the world.
I think there's a very big missed aesthetic opportunity here. They could have given him... I mean, Batman's got a bunch of different gears, right?
Yeah.
So they could have given him the Batman Ninja helmet.
That's true.
That would have been neat because this is the Batman Ninja Batman.
Yeah.
So...
we also have the Arkham Pack 1, also for $24.99.
It's the good one.
Yeah. It contains 3 powerful random gold cards in the Arkham series, is what they say. And new, just added, Arkham Knight Batman, Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, and the Arkham Knight, even though it's not new at all. Yeah. It gives you a 10% chance each of getting Arkham Knight Batman, Arkham Knight Catwoman, Arkham Knight the Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins Bane, Arkham Origins Batman, and Arkham Origins the Joker. And then it says 40% chance for a gold character.
So those are all the declared values. We did a previous opening with this, I think, when this was a power credit pack.
Yeah.
And before they started charging cash, and we found that it was around a 10% chance of Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, about a 15% chance of Arkham Origins Deathstroke, and about a 15% chance of Arkham Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
So despite the 10% tease, right, where everybody that they actually declare is 10%, you think you would be getting 10 different characters, but it's only 9. So unless something has changed, it would still be missing Arkham Killer Croc and Arkham Knight Batgirl.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah. And everything else is not new, at the very least.
Right. Old news.
Yeah, moving on. Phantom Zone has 1 week left, and then it'll be off for 2 weeks. Flight 62 is still broken, as it's been for ages now. Last weekend's breakthrough was Raven, Superman, and the Arkham Knight. This coming weekend's should be Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, and Martian Manhunter. And there's a link in the description to a thread from Devlin16 if you want to check out the breakthrough cycle for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
As far as current glitches go, we go into more detail every time something changes, which is basically never at this point. And on the first week of every month, most recently that was for the 3rd of April 2025. But you can always check out our tutorials in our Working Glitches playlist. And the only thing that really bears mentioning here is that the challenge reset glitch has been confirmed to be working on this week's Arkham Origins Bane challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. To finish up, we'd like to give a huge thank you to all of our wonderful patrons on Patreon. So that would be Michael Devries, Irvin Ruiz, Hoshi127, Nora Klimek, and Miguel, who are supporting us on the credited level. Thank you so much for all of your support. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.